Hello everyone. So previously, what we had done actually, we had discussed the solid principles actually. Yeah, solid principles, SOLID, single, sorry, yeah, single responsibility principle. Then this one, O is nothing but the open or closed principle. L is nothing but the Liskov substitution principle. I is nothing but the interface segregation principle. Then P is nothing, D is nothing but the D stands for dependency inversion principle, right? So we didn't discuss, we had not discussed this one. What do we call OOPS concepts, right? OOPS concepts prerequisites is you have to know the classes as well as the objects, right? Right, classes as well as the objects. So we will be discussing the four pillars in the OOPS actually. Basically, one is encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, as well as the inheritance. These four things. Yep. First, let's start with the encapsulation. So let's get into the definition part. Encapsulation is the concept of wrapping the data actually. Encapsulation is the concept of wrapping the data, nothing but the variables, and methods, nothing but the functions. If you are going with the OOP actually, so class, we write the methods within the classes, right? So methods are the functions actually. Encapsulation is the concept of wrapping the data and methods or the functions together into the single unit, nothing but the class, right? Together into the single unit, nothing but the class, and restricting the direct access to the data, right? So this is mainly used for the security. Security purposes, we'll be going with the encapsulation. So encapsulation is the concept of wrapping the data, nothing but the variables and methods or the functions actually together into the single unit and restricting the direct access to the data, right? So let's go with the explanation part here, right? Encapsulation protects an object's internal state, right? Mainly, as I've said, it is related, mainly it is related with the security actually. Encapsulation protects the object's internal state by keeping the variables private, and also it allows the access only through the public methods. It allows the access only through the public methods. As we are making use of the Java here, as we are going with the Java, it allows the access only through the public methods. This ensures data security. As I've said, it is extremely related to the security actually, intensely related with the security part. This ensures data security, controlled access, and better maintainability. Yep. So this is it for the encapsulation part. So let's try to understand the same thing with a very simple example, right? So let's go with a we can just consider the bank account example actually. Let's do the same. I'll just import here java.input output.star. So we'll be going with the input output. So I'll just go with the class. Let me go with bank account here. So this is fine. Yep. So within the bank account method, so what I'll do first, let's go with a private variable, right? It cannot be accessed directly outside the class. So that is the reason we make use of the private, this one, right? Yeah, a private variable actually. So I'll just go with private here. So this one, let me go with the int balance. So this is fine. Next, let's do one thing. Let's go with a public method to set the value safely, right? So I'll just go with public here, right? So I'll just go with a void. Let me go with a method deposit here, right? So let me go with the parameter amount. Yep. What happened here? Sorry, man. 1 second. So this one, instead of giving the opening parenthesis, I have given closing parenthesis, I think. Anyways, so within the deposit method, so let's go with a validation. If amount is greater than 0, then what we'll do, I'll just go with balance equals balance plus amount actually. Balance equals balance plus amount. Yeah, let me come out of this one entirely. Now let's go with a public method to read the value as well, right? So I'll just go with a public here. And so let me go with get balance. Yep. So within the get balance method, first thing I'll just return the yep. Let me return balance actually. Yeah. Let me return the balance. Yep. So this is fine. So let me come out of this one entirely. So this is it for the this one. What do we call code actually? Let's go with the example usage. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. Usually I don't type the example usage. I'll just take it from the Google. Just give me a second here. Yeah. So I'll just paste this one over here so you can clearly see here. right? So what we are doing here within the main method, so first we are creating the object of the bank account here, the main one. Yep. So this one, this class actually, this is fine. We are creating the object of the object of bank account. Then we are depositing the money using public method. We are depositing the money using public method. This one. Yep. Deposit account dot deposit 1,000 rupees as I'm considering in INR actually 1,000 rupees. Let's consider this one 1,000 rupees. Then we are trying to access the balance using the get getter actually. Yeah, we are trying to access the balance using the getter. So I'm just going with println account dot get balance. This one we are trying to access the balance using the getter. So finally, so I'm just making use of the flush as I went with the buffer data. So this is fine. This is related to the input output. But so let me do one thing. Now let me run the code. So yeah, we are getting the output 1,000, which is absolutely correct here. So this is one of the simple examples for the encapsulation, right? So this is one of the simple examples for the encapsulation. See what is happening here. So bank account, 1 second. Let me come to the output. So we are just going with a bank account here. So this one, right? So a new bank account object is created here, right? A new bank account object is created. Then we are going with the account or deposit of 1,000 here, right? So this one, what it does, deposit method is called, we are calling the deposit method here, and amount is checked whether amount is greater than zero. See, that's what we have written in the method. Amount is checked actually, whether the amount is greater than zero. And then as it is greater than zero, we have the 1,000, right? So balance becomes 1,000, right? Balance becomes 1,000. Then we are going with the get balance. So it returns the private balance safely. So this one, this is private. We have considered this one as the private, right? So this returns the private balance safely. Actually, the output that we need to get here is 1,000, which we have got. We have got the desired output here in this case. So this is one of the fantastic examples for the this one encapsulation. Now let's move on with the, or let's discuss the real world applications of the encapsulation, right? So this is used in the banking systems. Usually it is used in the banking systems. See, balance cannot be changed directly, right? Balance cannot be changed directly, so usually we make use of the encapsulation. So this is one of the applications, real world applications of the encapsulation. Then it is used in the login systems as well. So we have to keep the passwords private actually, and it is only accessed via validation. We know this one. Yeah. So that is the reason it is used in the login systems as well. We can just make use of the encapsulation within the login systems. Usually encapsulation is used in the login systems. Anything that is related to security actually. Then it is used in the medical records as well. It is used in the medical records. Uh, uh, Patient data, we have to protect the patient data, right? So for that we can just make use of the encapsulation. Then it is used in the APIs and SDK as well, right? Application programming interface, it is used in the APIs and SDK, right? Yeah. So we'll be making use of it within the API, application programming interfaces, and SDKs as well. SDKs in the sense software development kits actually. Yep. So we'll be we can just make use of the this one encapsulation within the APIs. It is used actually within the APIs and the SDKs actually. Yep. So internal logic will be hidden basically. Only the public methods will be exposed, right? So within the APIs as well as the SDKs. Next comes the final part actually. It is used in the large software systems as well. It is used in the large software systems as well. It is safe and basically, yeah, to go with the safe and the maintainable code base. So we can make use of the encapsulation actually within the large software system. So these are some of the this one real world applications of the encapsulation, right? Now let's move on with the last part, nothing but the complexities part, time and the space complexity. So see, whatever the let's discuss the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written. So what will be the complexity for the code that we have written? It is big of 1. Because see, getter and setter operations takes constant time. We know that, and we are trying to access within the getter actually, getter itself actually. See here, we are trying to access the balance using getter itself. So it would be big of 1. The space complexity would lead to big of 1 itself, because we are making use of the fixed amount of memory for the variable. So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big of 1 and big of 1 respectively, right? So yeah, this is it about the encapsulation. Very simple one, right? So basically encapsulation is equal to data protection and also controlled access and clean design. So this we can say, right? What is encapsulation? It consists of the data protection as well as this one controlled access and the clean design, right? So yep. So this is it for the encapsulation part. Yep. So next we'll be discussing on the other pillars of the OOPS actually. So for now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.